Greetings from sunny but chilly Macedo, Lesotho. I decided to record this video today just because I'm reading a lot on social media and just international media about some of the happenings in my home country, the United States, really related to communities and issues that I care about. So ultimately, maybe this wouldn't be of interest to everyone, but ultimately, who feels it knows it. And that's why I'm not surprised, not by the current American president's tirade, nor by the public's reaction, and definitely not by the way the comments fill up like a floodplain on social media. Because the moment the rain starts, everyone acts like they've always known where the river belongs. And one of the hardest lessons immigrants learn in America, in Europe, anywhere is this. Once the media paints you a certain way, once the media paints you a certain way, you don't get to choose how long the paint stays wet. You can scrub, you can explain, you can show your degrees, your receipts, your family photos, your Sunday clothes, and still, the stain lingers in the public imagination. And why do I say this? Because ultimately, I'm an immigrant too. An immigrant from America who migrated to Africa 16 years ago. More specifically, 3 different countries here in Africa. I crossed the ocean, although within a different context, and became the outsider on a different continent. I've lived long enough under other people's assumptions to really recognize the moment a narrative starts walking ahead of the person. And I come from a community, I come from a community in America that has been living inside that paint for a long time. Decades, even centuries, really, when you think about it. Long enough to know the pattern by heart. If a few people sell drugs, the whole block is perceived as drug dealers. If a few people are violent, the whole neighborhood is portrayed as violent. If one person messes up, our whole demographic gets sentenced. Welcome to the world of being a perpetual suspect, where you're guilty until you can prove that you're human. And now, interestingly enough, the world has a new editor. Not a newsroom, not a producer, not even a politician. The new editor is the algorithm. Let me say it again. The new editor is the algorithm. It doesn't ask, is it true? It asks, did you watch? It doesn't ask, is it fair? It asks, did you share? It doesn't ask, is it nuanced? It asks, did it spark a fight? And if it sparked a fight, the algorithm gets what? The algorithm gets promoted. So let me tell you, just to add some context, let me tell you what I saw. There was a young Somalian man joking, trolling, performing for the moment about the chaos that's happening in Minnesota right now. And I watched the internet do what it does. Turn comedy into confession. Turn sarcasm into evidence. And turn this Somali guy's performance into a court exhibit. Because the algorithm, it doesn't really understand tone. It understands traction. Then came the response videos, dozens of them that I saw. People reacting like the troll is a news anchor, like the joke is somehow a policy paper, like the skit is a sworn affidavit. And suddenly, what I think this brother thought was harmless isn't harmless anymore because it feeds the machine that really has an anti immigrant appetite. And when people from the community respond rightfully angry, rightfully defensive, the algorithm doesn't really hear defense, it hears heat. It tags the whole topic as engaging. It actually rewards the conflict. It keeps serving the same dish again and again and again until the audience stops tasting the truth and starts craving the outrage. Yes, there's definitely some success stories. Doctors, lawyers, business owners, students graduating, families building, immigrant communities thriving. People doing just the quiet work of living with dignity. But as we all know, quiet and the success stories doesn't trend like chaos. And I was hesitant, and I really hate to say this, but sometimes success stories show up too late after the narrative already bought a house in people's mind. And this narrative starts charging rent. So let me talk. Let me talk directly to my immigrant family, wherever you find yourself in the world, especially the ones who spent years trying to separate themselves from us. And I think you know what I mean when I say us. The communities that have been carrying this weight for generations. Some of us grew up hearing it or saying it out loud or under the breath. That's not me. I'm not like them. I'm different. As if distance is a shield. As if respectability is armor. As if the paint only splashes on certain people. But the truth is, when the story needs a villain, it does not ask for your passport or your ethnicity first. The same system that stereotypes one group will eventually recycle the template for the next group. Different accent, same suspicion. Different flag, same fear. So really, when the president points and the public piles on and the comments turn into a digital mob, I'm really not shocked. Because the machinery has been warmed up for a long time. Who feels it knows it. And if you've ever watched your community get turned into a headline, a punchline, a suspect description, then you already know. You already know. The pain is real because the machine is real. And sometimes the hardest part isn't being really misrepresented. It's realizing how quickly the world gets comfortable. It's realizing how quickly the world gets comfortable with a version of you that was never true. So yeah, we give thanks for you taking the time to listen. All we can do is do our best and keep pushing. Who feels it knows it.